So I have a few taglines. There's permission to be you always, because I honestly think that everybody should give themselves permission to just be exactly who and how they are in every moment. When you're not okay, that's okay. When you're great, then that's fabulous too. When people ask me what I do, and I was kind of exploring how I wanted to explain that to people, I one day said, well, I teach people how to own their shit. And my husband heard it and he belly laughed. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. And I was a little insecure about it because it used a cuss word. Oh, you're not supposed to say the S word. But I've totally embraced it because it's absolutely so much fun. And it usually lends itself to, that's kind of cool. People are intrigued and they want to know more. They want to understand, what is this? What is this own your shit? I want to know. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. So I thought I would just do a little musing about it and help explain it and just put it into words, put it into black and white. And then of course I do a little video because that's just fun. So in one of my other musings, I wrote about planes, trains, and panic attacks. And if you haven't read it, go back and read it or watch the video because it explains a lot. And it also brings us right back here into owning your own shit. So that experience, I literally had a panic attack in the middle of an airport getting ready to go on a trip. And it was this surprise. I was absolutely taken aback. I did not think that this would happen. And it was this huge learning experience. It was a great reminder and a moment of self-care. What do I need? And I had to embody the meaning of owning my shit. I needed to stop in that moment and understand what was going on and what I can do for myself and how could I go through this. So owning your shit means that you have to stop everyone else. You have to stop blaming everyone else. You have to stop playing the blame game. You have to own your own needs. You are the only one who knows what you need. You are pretty much the only one who knows how to get you what you need. Nobody else can read your mind. Nobody else can just make it happen for you. So you have to be personally responsible for your own actions. You have to be personally responsible for your own self-care, for the way that you treat you. Nobody else can do that for you. You have to be personally responsible for your own words, actions, deeds, just your being. When we decide to own our own shit, it means that we decide to look inside. It means that we decide to open up the possibility of healing our own insecurities, the transformation of the old patterns and beliefs that really don't serve us and make us insecure and frustrated, and we just change it into something new and positive and helpful instead of a burden that's really struggling and making us just live not the most authentic, best life that we can. Owning your shit means that you get to find freedom in self-expression. You get to find a way more joyful life, a more joyful way of being. People come to me, I work with them. Oftentimes they have been seeking for someone else to be the magic, someone else to tell them what to do, someone else to, maybe there's a pill that I can take that will just magically make life fantastic. And they never actually dig into the pain or the challenges or the patterns that are causing the frustration. So owning your shit goes back and says, I am broken, I'm a little bit challenged, and I need a little bit of help, and I need to understand the how, the why, the what behind my actions, behind my words, behind my stress, the why, the what behind my panic attack in the airport, what was going on for me. Owning your shit means you get to be your own magic pill. You learn the tools. You learn the ways to just dive in and say, I am worth it. Now, what is it? What do I mean when I say it? You're worth it. You are worth your own self-respect. You are worth the love and acceptance that only you can grant yourself. Other people might try to give it to you from the outside. Unless you heal yourself, unless you look inside and say, why do I feel less than? Nobody else will ever be able to completely and fully fill that need of yours to be loved and respected. You have to do it. You are worth it. You are worth that love. You are worth that self-respect. You are worth honor. You are worth being treated like an amazing human being. That starts with you. No one has lived the life that you have lived. There are challenges that are absolutely 100% unique to you. And other people can try to understand them. They're not going to understand them fully because they did not live it through your own experience. You need to learn how to embrace a shift. And yes, I meant to say shift, not shit. There has to be a shift in you saying, I'm here. I've got this. I have the power to change it. I have the power to alter it, to shift it. I have the power to know what my needs are and how I can change them, how I can meet them, how I can make my life a little bit better or a lot better. Oftentimes, when we're not owning our shit, we point the finger at other people and we expect other people to apologize or other people to help us heal or other people to recognize that they've done something wrong. The problem with that is that personally, you're choosing to hold a wound open. You're choosing to hold a grudge. You're choosing to hold somebody else responsible. Owning your shit means you get to stand in that moment and you get to say, you know what? That really sucked. I didn't like that, and I have a choice. I can find peace and healing. I can find forgiveness for whatever happened, or I can empower myself by learning how to communicate and communicating with that person and saying, you know what? I really didn't like this. And that really hurt, and that was really upsetting and frustrating. By seeing that, by choosing to communicate with them, by choosing to honor your feelings, honor where you're at in that moment, you empower yourself. And you say, you know what? I am absolutely worth it. I am worth that love. I am worth that respect. I am worth myself speaking up on my own behalf. Sometimes people don't even know that they've hurt you. You are the one who has to speak up and say, I need this. I need to verbalize what was going on. And when you recognize what your feelings are, and when you learn how to communicate, when you learn how to express what's going on for you, you feel more fully expressed, which means that you now find more peace and more love and more honor for yourself. And you, in finding that, then you grant yourself even more permission to just be you, exactly where, how, and who you are. It's the mirrors. When you own who you are, when you own your emotions and you recognize that your emotions come from a positive or negative space and you are the one who needs to work with them to help them shift, then the empowerment comes, the strength comes, and you are mirroring to other people how you want to be treated. So when you're communicating to somebody and you say, you know what, I'm going to tell you something. This really upset me and hurt me. This bothered me and I would like to talk about it. It also shows them that they can do the same thing and they can come to you and say, hey, you know what, I really didn't like this and I'd love to talk about this. It opens up a new dialogue and it shows people, because you are owning you, you are owning your emotions, you are owning how you are in each moment. It shows other people that they can be empowered and own the exact same thing. In planes, trains, and panic attacks, I wanted to lash out at everyone around me because I was having a panic attack. I couldn't breathe. My heart was racing. My hands were sweating. I just wanted to cry because I was struggling and I was mad that other people weren't doing this or weren't doing that. And I had to stop in that moment and own my shit and say, wait a minute. Why am I having this? What is causing it? What is contributing to this moment? What emotion am I feeling and experiencing? And once I stopped and I said, where am I at? Then I was able to say, what do I need in this moment and how can I shift it? How can I change it? How can I make things better for me in this moment? Now, that might be that you decide you need to step back and take a break. That might mean that you need to go for a walk. That might mean that in that moment, you decide you need some kind of self-care, and how are you going to get it? And it doesn't matter whether it's a public thing. Mine was very public. It was in the middle of an airport. And yet I was able to find a way to bring myself some self-care. And then there are other moments that are way more private, and you're able to say, what can I do for self-care in those moments? Big or small, doesn't matter. Once you understand yourself, once you understand your emotions and your reactions and the patterns from your past that feed into those emotions and those reactions, you are now starting to own your shit. And in owning your shit, you then grant yourself permission to be you always and in all ways. This is what I mean when I say I teach people how to own their shit. I live it on a daily basis. I stop and I check in. And there are moments that I forget to check in. There are moments just like that airport where I am very vulnerable and I am struggling, and I myself have to tune in and use my own tools to make sure that I'm okay. I live it on a day-to-day basis, and I learn all the time. I am constantly learning something new. I'm really excited to know what you guys can teach me. And in the same aspect, I really look forward to the new things that you can learn about yourself. How can you own your shit? How can you empower yourself? How can you grant yourself more love, more respect, more joy in life because you feel freer? You've now granted yourself more freedom. Instead of locking yourself down and saying, I can't, you now open it up and say, I absolutely can.